Where were you when you woke up?
I was in the morgue with all the dead bodies.
On your trip to hell, you said you looked down and you saw hell.
Mm-hmm.
Describe what you saw.
Ooh. Well, first of all, there was space everywhere, and it was all burning. And the flame looked maybe as high as this door. And then above that, the stench and the smoke was there. And these souls were up there above the flames. And they were begging for water and wanting to get out. They were very fascinating to me because of the dread I saw on their face. It was terrible. And the smell was what you wouldn't want. Oh my, the smell is terrible of hell. It's burning flesh, and yet it isn't burning. I don't know how to explain that any different. It's flesh burning.
Were people
scorched.
screaming?
Oh yes, and their tongues were hanging out, and they wanted to get out of there. They just said, bring me some water, something to quench this flame, being tormented.
They were being tormented.
Mm-hmm. Terribly tormented. Their tongues were hanging out, and some of their eyes looked like they were bulging out of their head, and they were just reaching up. They wanted some help. They wanted out of there, but there isn't any way out of hell. Once you get there, you're doomed.
What, did you hear anything? Did anybody say anything in hell in particular that you can remember?
Screams, just screams.
Their whole body, or were they?
Well, they were forms.
Okay.
I could see heads, faces,
Okay.
and people like with the expression in the eyes. Oh my, terror! Just they were.
No. No, fuck that. Mm-mm. Mm-mm, mm-mm.
Interesting facts that you may not know. This is the haunting story of a haunted house in Japan. In Japan, a deceased person on the list will be tied with a red ribbon. That ribbon was used to mark the dead in the morgue. In a certain hospital, there was a doctor who worked overtime at night. After receiving the last shift at 2 a.m., he took a break and went down to the basement. While on the machine down to the basement, he met a female employee. So the two started talking and laughing. Going down to the basement, the elevator door opened. The doctor saw an old man walking towards himself. Seeing the old man, the doctor panicked and closed the elevator door. The female employee asked why the old man was not allowed in. He looked injured. The doctor panicked and said that he saw the old man wearing a red ribbon, but only the dead in the bookstore wear a ribbon. That's all red. The doctor thought he was paranoid, so he asked the female staff member, "Did you see that old man wearing a red ribbon just now, or was it just me?" She smiled like a female and raised her hand and asked for a ribbon like this, doctor.
Laying in the body locker at the morgue in Waverly Hills.
Is there anybody in here with me?
All right, so let's give the people what they want. We know why you're here. It's to hear about the morgue tunnels.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's why I'd be here. All right, so the morgue tunnels. First off, how deep are they? When you're standing on Forsyth playing Frisbee with your dog, how far are we from dead bodies?
They're basement level. They're
Yeah.
literally a
Really?
thin layer between the ground and where the tunnels were. Yeah.
No way. How are the bodies in there? Like are they again in the walls? Are they?
So it's very interesting because the morgue tunnel where I was just the morgue.
Yeah.
It wasn't the morgue tunnel. I say I went down into the morgue tunnel. What I actually dropped into was the morgue that opened up into the tunnel.
Okay.
And on the walls they had these metal brackets that would pull out, and I imagine that was to lay a cot on.
Oh.
So the bodies, and they could stack them down under the ground. But my guess is the morgue tunnel itself has no such thing.
Yeah.
So in my conversations with other people, the general consensus is they stacked them like bricks. And they actually stopped up the tunnel with bodies. So it was like they were building walls out of bodies.
Jeez.
Yeah. Because the tunnels were also not tall. These are not like, they were not, like, I believe I could reach up and touch the top of it.
Sure.
So, you know, it was not like these were
Big dungeony
huge
tunnels.
Dungeony tunnels.
They're more like the Parisian tunnels.
People were smaller back then too, so
Yeah.
you know.
In the following video, a hospital in Mexico had caught footage of something pretty creepy. The video takes place inside a corridor of an empty facility. In it, we can see a hospital staff member sitting by himself. According to him, he was sitting alone when all of a sudden, a patient who was trying to leave the hospital asked him for directions to the nearest exit. Feeling confused upon seeing this patient, as he made sure the floor was empty before taking his break, he gets up to check who the patient was on the hospital's computer. But when he looks over at the security footage that was taken during this time, he was spooked out of his mind. This is what was captured. Based on this recording, whoever the nurse was talking to was not actually there. Those who've seen this footage believe that the man was either talking to himself or, as the man himself believes, a ghost. Just who or what was talking to this nurse? The nurse in this video has no idea and is still creeped out by this footage.
Do you know what the body parts were? Now, someone just said shush or shh, and that wasn't from the closet about. I can't help it. That shush was body parts. Do you know what the body parts were? Now, someone just said shush or shh, and
This creepy bit of footage was taken at a morgue in South America. The trolley appears to be moving all on its own. Is this evidence of the paranormal, or just an elaborate hoax?
We have been told that spirits can be good or bad, but that doesn't make seeing one less scary. Unfortunately, the security guards in a Brazilian morgue came across a spirit that was looking to scare them more than anything. The video begins with a shot down a hallway. There is a flickering light seen in the hallway and a red door that appears to be opening and slamming shut on its own. As the guards make their way towards the door, the slamming gets more intense. Finally get about 10 to 15 feet from the door, it immediately stops, as does the flickering light. For a few seconds, the area goes dark, and all we can see is the light from the guard's flashlight. When the lights come back on, they investigate the door, which houses the pipes that supply water in emergencies. As they're examining the door, a loud banging noise comes from the door to their left. They turn to that door and find nothing in the room that leads to it. One guard goes to the end of the hallway and checks to see if a door is closed, and confirms that it is.
La banca no está vacía. Hola. Verdad. Hombre.